Alright, so yeah, what is up guys? This is back here. Alright, so this is my first video of year 2024. Right. So in this year I'm also like okay, first of all, just wishing everyone a really happy new year. Alright. So may those who have new goals this year, may you guys hit your target. Right. So for me this year, I am looking forward to make more videos, of course, and also trying to like move my channel content to like more varieties. Like I've been trying to do that for the past year, so I hope this year I can continue and also like make it even more interesting, right? Also like learn more stuff. Alright, so in today's video, it is pretty simple. Alright, we are making a Genshin tier list. Alright, so I will be dead honest on this tier list. Right, so this tier list will be um my personal opinions on the current version, like their strengths. Okay, like the strengths of every character and also their rating, right? So um I will try not to be as biased as possible because I know when it comes to making a specific tier list, it can be very biased if you don't like make this whole thing seriously. All right. So first on the list, I will put Null because these two characters are yet to be released, so I will just leave it there. Right. So there are some characters here which I don't like have them like chivalrous, so I will just put her as null because I can't really give reviews about it. Alright. So let's start with the first one, which is our traveler. Right. So the traveler, they have multiple elements so far, like every nation they can have one element. So if you are speaking in terms of overall, I will put them as D. Alright. But if you're speaking of if they are a Dendro, then they can go for C. Right? So that's like situational. Alright. So next we have Jean. Jean, I will put her at around like C or B. Alright, because like um she can be a really good healer, but at the same time her only purpose is like to heal. Alright. For the ulti. Like it's an instant burst damage and instant burst heal. Like so her usage on some teams can go up to like B tier and some they can go up to like C tier. Like so for Lisa I'll put her on C tier because like you normally won't really use like her for on field DPS. Alright. Normally some people will use her for support because her elemental burst can reduce the defense of the enemy. Right. So next we have Amber. Amber I'll put it at around D, right? Because her her kid is really like not that, yeah, not that friendly, I would say. Next we have Noah. Noah is somewhere in C, but depends on team. Some teams Noah can shoot skyrocket up to A or B tier, like the really popular Noah Furina. Yeah, it's somewhere here. Like if you use Noah like just a normal character for like shield or heal, she's around C. But if you tend to turn her into a DPS with specific teams and buffs, she can go up to A or B. Yeah, so she is here. So okay, next for Barbara. Barbara, I personally don't really like her because I mean she is a healer, but the biggest issue of her is when she started healing with the ring will constantly apply hydro to your current character. Alright, which is kinda the headache, I would say. Right? Like for example, if a cryo slime attack you by accident, you just get freezed, yeah, which is very very annoying. Or maybe you meet some line disorders, they have like what cryo floors, so you can get like freeze 24/7. Yeah. So that's technically it. Right, so for Sucrose, I will put her as A. All right. So for Sucrose, why would I put her A is because she is one of the few animal characters, or one of the few characters in the game that can gather up mobs. All right. So for the current mob gathering power that we know currently is Venti, Kazuha, and Sucrose, or Jin if you really want to consider, but it's really fucking inefficient. Yeah. And besides that, Sucrose also increase your team's elemental mastery, right? Based on her own elemental mastery. So this makes her a really good. She can be a driver, she can be a mob getter, or she can be a buffer, which buffs EM directly. All right. So next we have Fischl. Fischl I'll put her on A two, because Fischl is a really good off field electro DPS, sub DPS. All right. And also she can also be electro battery at the same time, and she's easy to invest, not really like too high requirements, and you can use her really well too. Okay, next we have Moana. All right, so for Mona, she is really good. She can sometimes be S, sometimes be A. All right, depends on enemies, yes, and team. All right, so the biggest purpose of Mona is she can increase the damage enemies taken. All right, and also like imprison small enemies, like small size enemies. Okay, so yeah, quite simple and direct, and she also like converts ER to hydro damage bonus. Yeah, so technically building ER on her is also worth it at the same time, right? So quite an easy to invest characters, and like not really too high requirements. You can just fully stack ER and give some crit rate, and yeah, you're done for. All right. Next we have balls. Right, B for balls. No, just kidding. Okay, so Kia is good in if you really high invest him. By high, I mean really high, including a 5-star weapon or an insane artifact stats. Yeah, then he is usable, quite good in some situations. Alright. So normally I think how people use Kia is like they use it as a trigger for specific artifacts effects, or they use him as melt carry. Yeah, like the E and the Q, they can constantly melt. Yeah, so that's how I saw people use K. Yeah, yeah, but if you have other DPS, please don't do this. Yeah, unless you are doing it for fun. Right. So next we have Diluc. So Diluc is one of the few good DPSs that have low skill ceiling. Alright. So you don't really need to have like expert skill to master Diluc. I mean, yes, of course you'll see people like doing Dragon Strike Diluc or all the stuff. Yeah, but if you are just a normal player, you don't really have to like master all those. Alright, I mean, yes, if you are a freak, you just like you have to, yeah, you have no choice. Alright, then just do it. Okay. So overall, Diluc is a good pyro DPS, but the only issue is he beating him is quite the pain in the ass, right? Because of weapon choices and also the artifacts. Right, so for his artifacts, the best in slot is the Crimson Witch, and we all know that the one few of the artifact domains in this game are just literally pieces of shits. Okay, so yeah, so whoever wants to farm for this red hair, just good luck farming. Right, for Razor, I'll just put beside KR. So Razor is physical damage dealer, right? So we only know like two famous physical damage dealers in this game. One is our Eula, one is our Razor. Right? So Razor team is like besides playing physical, there's a really special team which is overload and also like mixed with burning reaction, right? So it depends on what kind of Razor are you playing. Yeah. The other like the elemental razor is actually very OP. I've seen my friends did it like he actually bought it to 412 and he actually passed it. So I was like, yeah, it was actually no joke, like for real. All right. Hey, so next we have is Bennett. All right. So Bennett, I'll put him to S. All right. So S tier. He can be up to S plus tier. All right. So the fact that Bennett can be up here is because he can he can provide way too much things. All right. So first of all, he can provide healing. All right. He can also provide attack buff. All right. He can also provide elemental like removal because he inflicts pyro onto your current character. Right. So in another words, he can remove like debuffs like hydro debuffs or cryo debuffs, which can be like extremely annoying on your current character. Right. And also like um trigger artifacts like Noblesse Oblige. Yeah. So the fact that he can provide too many things is like make him always like a worthy character to like invest or build on, right? So therefore he's up there on S plus tier. So next we have Ningguang. Ningguang is sort of at the top of B, like close to A, because she's one of the very few geo carries. Yeah. I mean recently, yeah, Navia just got released, but if you don't have a 5-star for geo DPS, like Ningguang can be your choice. Alright. I mean some people are going to say Noah is also a choice, but no Noah requires C6, yeah. So Ningguang is like really really good at C0. Yeah, so it's actually worth investing. Next we have Beidou. So Beidou is somewhere at B. Alright. So her team is quite niche. Her strength is quite according to the team builds. Alright. So if you're a taser team, Beidou can be really good. If you are in a spread team, Beidou might not be that good. It also depends on the enemy conditions. Like for example, if there are more enemies, she'll be like even more efficient or even like more damage dealing. Right, if there are only one single enemy, then Fisher won her in these specific cases, or maybe even other electro cat units. Right? So that's how Beidou actually is in the current version and overall situation. So for Kaching, she is at A. Alright. So Kaching is one of the standard banner characters. Alright. So for Kaching, um her damage depends on how much you are willing to invest on her. Alright, because her multipliers are just there. Alright, the only thing you can like improve is through insane artifacts farming, like you have no life. Alright, and giving her a really really good weapon. By really really good, I mean 5-star mid splitter or PJC, Perimeter Jade Cutter. Right, and also her team. The best team for her is Aggravate. Alright, which means like Dendro plus Electro. Alright, then like you can see huge tons of damage. Alright, so next we have Xiangling, the official daughter of the official game itself. Alright, so what is broken about this girl here is she is a poem character. Alright, that's the first thing. Alright, secondly, her kit is mostly off-field pyro damage dealer or pyro applier. Alright, so how stupid this character's kit is actually a base of 10-second ultimate duration. So what the ultimate does is like apply pyro damage consistently over you. Alright, and what's even more broken is the fact that this character can use literally almost every single polearm in the game. Almost every single polearm. Yeah. Some she can't really use because of the like weapon stats or weapon passive. Alright, but majority high end polearms, including 4 stars or 5 stars, she's usable. That's how broken she actually is. because somehow all the weapons can benefit her kit. Alright. So next we have Chongus Amogus no, I mean Chongyun. Okay. So Chongyun is a 4-star unit. He's a cryo claymore, and yeah, that's all. His kit is normally like cryo cryo infusion applier, and also like off field cryo DPS, sub DPS, off field cryo sub DPS. So what he does is he swaps out Q and goes back to the backline again, and or apply an E and just go backline again. Yeah. So that's normally people use him to play in the frozen team or melt team, right? But in my opinion, he's not really like worth it. Yeah. So for Chi Chi, I mean she can heal, but she's in the L category. Yeah, I believe we all know why. No, actually, jokes aside, she's kind of L, in current version, because you can't really find a team that can like fit her somewhere in the team. Yeah, because all she does is like she heals, and that's all. Yeah, and that's pretty much all. She just heals. Yeah, that's her only job. She just heals and provides a ton of healing. Yeah, that's all. That's all that she does. Okay. So next we have Xingqiu. Okay, so Xingqiu, he is one of the also broken units in this game. Alright. So first fact, he is a 4-star. Second fact, he is a hydro off-field unit. Third fact, he can be an off-field sub DPS while also being an off-field hydro applier. Alright, third, he is fucking easy and simple to build. Right. You don't need like too much crit, you don't need too much attack. I mean, yeah, if you want to perfect it, yeah, you can keep an eye on those, but if you are just a beginner or something, like you don't really have to care about those. All you need to care about is ER. Alright, if you are just building him for hydro application. Right. So next we have Venti. So Venti, I'll put him on S tier. Alright. But on some situations, he can drop to like B or C. Right? Depends on enemy conditions. Alright. But majority of the time he'll be on S tier. Alright. The problem is he just can't get the big enemies. I mean, everyone just can't, but his biggest point of sales is like the elemental burst, which is like huge AoE gather. Yeah. So if you can't gather enemies, then he's completely like fucked up. Alright. So next is Klee. Klee, I'll put it in A. Alright. She's somewhere there. Because her kit is kinda like a bit old. Because she requires like charge attack to output, and she requires a lot of skill. And the payback of investment is like not really worth it. I'm saying honest words, alright, not biased. Alright. I've seen people like play Klee before. It's like really hard for them to like actually kill mobs. I mean, in open world it's definitely not an issue, but in terms of challenges, or to be more specific, at least floor 12, Klee is you can see like people using like all these DPSs like Diluc Klee, Kaching, like they'll normally run with like, it's either you have very insane supports or you'll see them with agony. That's technically how it is. Alright. So for child, yes. For child, it can be S, it can be A. Alright. So most conditions I'll just put it on A. Okay, depends on your team buffs. Alright, of course, first things first, your team buffs. And also enemy mobs. Alright. So child is extremely powerful when there are multiple enemies. Alright. And he will be extremely weak. Not extremely weak. He will be weak when there is like boss enemies. Right? Because like it's hard for him for his retire and everything to work. Like his own mechanic kits is not meant to do single target damage. Alright. Just so it's like more to like AoE or multiple like enemies damage. Right. So next we have Diano. Right. So Diano, I'll put her at S. okay? Because she is one of the good shielders in the game, alright, excluding Noel here, alright? So other characters, they might have shield, but they require constellations, alright? So Diona is like a specific, like, 4-star shielder, yeah. She's the only specific 4-star shielder that can shield and heal, which is a quite obvious intention that she is a support. Alright, so as one of the shield providing characters in the game, she is quite precious for a 4-star. Alright, because we all know like not every 4-star character can like provide heal and also provide shield. So her value is like undoubtedly quite high. So I put her at S, right? Because it's also like obtainable through gacha, of course. Right, so next we have Dong. Alright, so Dong, I believe I don't have to explain much. People who have it, they know. People who doesn't have it and they want to get it, they know. Alright. Next we have Xinyan. Xinyan is kind of forgotten. She's like somewhere at D tier. Right, because she is questionable. Yeah, her kit is questionable. Like you can't really find her useful in most of the teams. I mean, if you want to force use her, yeah, but it's just not worth it. Right. So Albedus, alright. So regarding about this character, he was once a god, a god tier character until he had fallen. Yes. Right. So the purpose of Albedo here is like off you geo damage sub DPS. Alright, meanwhile, he can add 125 EM to the whole team for like a short time. So yeah, but current version you really won't see Albedo users unless they are true love. Alright, so for Ganyu, she's S tier. I believe I don't have to explain much. You can already see all the videos on YouTube if you search up. Yeah. Right. So for Xiao, he he is at the top of A, sometimes close to S, depends on teams and supports, of course. Right. So for Hu Tao, it will be the same. Right. It also depends on team and supports. Right. For Rosaria, I'll put her on B. Right. Rosaria is quite the special unit. She's like one of the few units that can buff crit rate. Alright. Right. So besides buffing crit rate, she is a cryo unit. So this means that you can probably put cryo resonance on the team, which it eventually adds even more crit rate. Right. So for Yanfei, I'll put her on A tier. Better than Klee. Alright. I mean, not biased, alright, but Yanfei have more advantages than Klee. Right. So the first advantage is Yanfei has longer range than Klee. Right? Klee is like really really short range, like just in front of her, in front of Klee, like that's all she can do damage to with a charge attack. But Yanfei is different. Yanfei is like a lot more longer, like Lisa or Ningguang. Yeah. And her charge attack doesn't consume as much stamina as Klee does because of her kit. So her kit is like if you attack enemies you get stacks. Alright? So you can see the stacks obviously behind your character. And the more stacks you have, the less stamina you will be consumed in your charge attack. Alright? Once consumed, the stacks are gone. So that's technically how she works, and her kit will actually like work really well in specific teams, right? And also having more stamina means that you get to dodge more to like evade enemy attacks. Next we have Eula. So Eula is a physical DPS, but unfortunately we all know that physical damage in this game is like not really not really popular. Right? You can already judge from like the S plus and S tier, and also majority of the A tiers. Like you already see like physical damage isn't really like popular in this game. Right? If you want to force her work, yeah, you can force her work, but it's going to be pain. Alright. for the player's mentality and sanity too. Right, so next we have Kazuha. So Kazuha is a 5-star support, alright? I believe we don't have to explain why he's so good. Yeah. I already did it in my previous video guide, so you can go and find it. Yeah. Or you can just ask people why Kazuha is actually so good. Next we have Ayaka. So Ayaka is she was once a god also. Now it's not really popular anymore. Alright, I also don't know what happened, please don't ask me. She was once a cryo carry, like really popular cryo carry, but now it's like if you want to use her, you can still use, but her power level is like I don't feel like it's really that's high anymore. Yeah, maybe it's the changes of mobs from the environment that makes me feel like she's not as strong as before. Right, next we have Yoi. So Yoi is similar to Hu Tao, but the only difference with her and Hu Tao is she is only extremely single target. Unlike Hu Tao sometimes if you charge attack in a straight line, you might hit enemies aligned in a straight line. Well, if it's Yoimiya, she can only hit like one character, one enemy at a time. Alright, but in exchange, she have the highest like damage multiplier in the whole game. Yeah, even though you run like mono pyro, she is like still quite insane. Alright, next we have Sayu. Sayu is like somewhere at C, right? Because the fact that using Sayu is fun, alright? I would say it's fun to use Sayu because you can roll around and just like disturb enemies, right? But if you wanna use her on a proper team, you will find her like quite weird to be in the position. Okay, so next we have Raiden. Raiden, I'll put her at S, alright? So Raiden's team can be really niche, alright? Someone will play Hyperbloom Raiden, someone will put Raiden National, and some will play like Sarah Raiden. Yeah. So it depends on the situation. So next we have Sarah, Kuju Sarah. Alright, she can sometimes be A, she can sometimes be B, depends on the team she is on. Alright, so the most frequent time you'll see Sarah being used is when she was with Raiden. Alright, or you can use Sarah to buff Kajin. Right, so what Sarah does is she only does single target ally buffs. Alright, that's all she does. Similar to Bennett, but it's just like single target. And it's unlike Bennett. Bennett is like deploy a field and whoever is in that field can receive the damage boost. But for Sarah it's different. How Sarah works is actually like she deploys a mark on the ground after a shot while it explodes, and your active character who receive the explosion will get the damage buff. Yeah, so technically she can only buff one character. So next we have Kokomi. Kokomi is also one of the S tier characters for me. Alright, so what Kokomi does is actually a really strong healer. Alright, and she can apply off-field hydro application. Right, but the downside of her is her elemental skill can only stay in one spot. But the advantage is she heals like a truck, like an actual truck. Right, so for Aloy, I have Aloy. It's somewhere at D. I know most people will just say it's L, but for me, I actually built and tried her. She is not too bad. Alright, I'll put her at around D. So I play her as like sub DPS or like a few bursts. Yeah. So, but it's not really like worth the investment. Yeah, so I just put it at D. Next we have Toma. So Toma is at around A2. Alright, the fact that I'll put him here is because if before Dendro was introduced, he's like B or C. And then when Dendro is introduced, he became like A or sometimes even S. Alright. But most of the situation I just put him as A. So what he can do is he can be off-field pyro trigger All right. So then, if you use Toma to proc Dendro cause, you will cause Virgin reaction, right? So there's where his damage output probably is. Okay, next is Ito. So Ito, I'll put him at A. Alright, so last time when he was initially released, the hype was like real. Everyone is like, Ito is awesome, everything. But as time flies, just like other characters, he got outperformed by other people. Right. So Goro is at B or C, but um if you're in a full Geo team, if he have C6, alright, he can be A. So his only purpose here is to like buff Geo and Geo only. Next we have Shenhe. Shenhe is one of the good supports for Cryo. She can be like at the top of A, or she can sometimes go to S. Right? So she buffs Cryo only. Alright? She only can buff Cryo damage dealers only. So Ganyu or Ayaka. Right. Next we have Yunjin. Yunjin is also somewhere A. Alright. She buffs normal attack by scaling on her defense. Right. So Yae Miko, I can't really judge on Yae Miko, alright. So I'll put her as no. But I think her power level should be like somewhere around A. Alright. It's not till S but A unless you have like signature weapon or cons. Yeah. So next I have Ayato. So Ayato is also like around A. Yeah. So I have Ayato, I actually built him, but last time he used to be a god. Alright. And until the version changes, and then he's like kind of forgotten, right? So next, Yelan. I believe people who have it, they know. People who don't have it and they want it, they also know. All right. So it's like similar to Zhongli. Right. So Yelan, I'll put it as like S plus tier, same with Xingqiu. But in my personal opinion, I still think that Xingqiu is better, alright, in terms of hydro application. But in terms of damage buff, Yelan is like taking over. So next we have Cookie. Cookie, I'm putting her as S plus. Alright, due to the Dendro, the release of Dendro, Cookie has gotten a really important role in every Hyperbloom team. Alright, so she triggers Hyperbloom, and all you need to do is just to stack EM on her. Right. Next we have Hazel. So Hazel, I will put him on tier B. Right. So Hazel is worth investing, but if you have other DPSs, you invest him only for fun, right? Like entertainment purposes. Next we have Tignari. So Tignari is A tier. Yeah. His weapon are quite picky, and also his artifact stats and everything are like kind of hard to cope with. Yeah, but after I like used him and played him, I found out like he's not too surprising. Yeah. So next we have Collei. Collei is A tier. All right. So the advantage about Collei is she is an off-field Dendro applier, which is quite a rare scene in this game because Tignari is like on-field. Alright, so off-field in this game is either you have Dendro Traveler or you have a Collei, or you have a 5-star Nahida. So where's Nahida? Yeah, Nahida is here. Right, let me zoom out a bit. So Nahida should be S plus tier. Alright, so the current situation is if your Collei is not well invested or high constellation, you must have a Nahida. Alright, Dendro Traveler is not enough. You must have a Nahida. Or you must have an item. Yes, that's technically how it is right now. That's how broken Dendro is. Alright. So next Dory. Dory, I'll put her in D. You rarely use her on any like occasions. For Sino, I'll put him on A. Alright. Sino can be good when facing specific enemies, but he will also choke a lot if he doesn't have the specific team comms. Alright. Like if you don't have an Aida, if you don't have a Collei, if you don't have like other things, yeah. And then he will just like hard choke and he probably won't even like be able to do damage. Right, so for Candace, I'll put at C. So the purpose of Candace is Hydro Infusion, but I don't see the whole point of Hydro Infusion. I mean, if you wanna like use her with Bennett, C6 Bennett and Chongyun to like make fireworks infusion, yeah, you can probably play around it. Alright, so for Nilo, she is one of the S tier characters. Alright, but I actually don't have her, but I seen my other friends use her. So she is really OP, like regardless of like other stuff. Like yeah, she is quite easy to invest, just throw HP on her, and that's technically it. But if she not most of the time she will be like A tier because like her constellations 1 and 2 actually really affect like how good her output will actually be. Right. So my friend have a C6 Nilo. So but when he use like it to play Bloom, I can already see like the damage difference is like really huge compared to a C0 Nilo. Even it's just C0 and C2, the damage gap is like really big. So next we have Layla. So Layla can be A, Layla can be B. Alright. So the advantage of Layla is she gives a really thick shield, but that's all she does. Yeah. Next we have Wanderer, aka Shadow. Yeah. Okay. So Wanderer is something like Shell, alright. High investment can be good sometimes, can be not good sometimes. Right, so Faruzan, I will put her as somewhere in the top of A. So let's use a short um sentence to explain Faruzan. Without Faruzan, Shell and Wanderer won't work well. Yes. Alright. Next for our Hatem. So our Hatem, I'll put him at S tier. Alright. Because he is one of the Dendro carries. Alright, he's on field, he's melee, alright, and he has a long field time, he can swap. And then his kit is like optional, like you can make many outplays and many like possibilities. Alright. So next we have Yao Yao. Yao Yao is somewhere around A. Alright, so she can be a Dendro off-field player, but sometimes you need to like find the timing and everything for her to work well. Right. Next we have Dea. Dea is also somewhere around A. Alright, the fact that Dea can be here is um sometimes she can go to S also. So Dea is really strong in certain situations, like strong as her damage mitigation. Alright. So when it comes to like defensive capabilities, normally we will just think of like shield and heal. Alright, but Dea is like the first character, which is like the most unique defensive capabilities, damage mitigation. So what she does is her field can help your current active characters to take down a certain percentage of the damage taken and convert it to like let her take the damage. It's like transfer to her, right? And also like her damage scaling also scales on HP. Yeah, so technically you can build her like a tank, an off-field tank that can like save your team at majority situations. Alright, so for Mika, it's D. I actually don't have him, so I'll put him no. Alright. So next we have Baidu 小白鼠. Yeah. Okay, so I don't have Baizu, but Baizu, I remember Baizu is tailored for Sino. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. I don't have a Kave. Alright. Kiara is good. Depends on situation, so either B or C. Alright, so Liney, I don't have a Liney, sorry. Okay, Lynette is either B or C. Right. So Freminet is D. Right. So Nuvillet, I don't have to explain. We all know. We all know. We all exactly know why Nuvillet is up there. Right. So Rio is S. Alright. Rina is S plus. Charlotte is C. Alright. Charlotte can be B actually. Yeah, Charlotte can be B. Alright, for Navia, she will be top of A. She'll be somewhere around here. Alright, so this is the complete tier list I have. Alright, I made here. Alright, so you can actually have a slight reference of this list. Alright, like which characters are like long-term high value investing. Alright, so yeah, that's technically my opinions on the current Genshin version and tier list. So thank you very much for watching this all the way here. It's a long ass video for this one because I'm making like a tier list for every single character in the game. Alright, so yeah. So thank you guys for watching, I guess. I'll see you in the next video, like, which is like probably talking about Navia. Yeah. Alright. So I'll see you in the next video and peace.